God, welcome to another Live and Thrive. I go by No Snero or NOS or Matthew or Matt. And this is my channel where we talk about anything and everything as long as it's meaningful, as long as it has some impact on the world, possibly even your life. So thank you for clicking on this video, joining me for the about an hour that I usually do these for, give or take. Sometimes they go a little bit over, sometimes we do a little bit less. The the agenda for today, because I actually have one, is hopefully I can get Mrs. Koger on here. So what up, Happy? What up? How you doing today, love? How was the bus ride? I have an agenda for today, because the last live we did a couple of days ago. Oh, I thought it was two already. It's funny because when I was thinking about doing a live today, I was like, if I do a live around 2, that means Happy's gonna be driving, so she's probably not gonna be able to join. So I tried to start it a little bit later so you would catch it on the back end. But it's all right though. I know you're here in spirit. I'll be thinking about you. Stay safe out there. Where are you again? I thought you was on the East Coast too. So you must be like in the middle of the country. You're on Central Time. Chicago, right. So you are on Central Time. The day is going fantastic, love. Thank you for asking. I've had a big lesson in patience today. I got that from trading. I ended up shorting myself on some money when I could have made some money, all because I got a little bit impatient with this stock that I had an option contract out on. So it's exciting. It's exciting to be in that space and get the lessons from it, you know? So upward spiral as always. And yeah, so I came in here with an agenda. Hopefully I get Mrs. Koger in here. If not, I'll just leave this here for her for later. And also another subject that I wanted to talk about was how to fight fair. I got a lesson from Dr. Gloria Lee on Instagram. Definitely 10 out of 10 recommend if you're in a relationship, even if you're not in a relationship, but especially if you're in a relationship and you're in one of those relationships where you butt heads a lot, this was going to be so not only pertinent to your life, but it's going to be helpful. It's going to be highly beneficial for you. So yeah, I'm gonna start off with that, and then I'll say what I got to say about the other thing that I wanted to catch up with Mrs. Koger was I was trying to get off the live a couple of days ago, and she asked a question: how about raising happy, healthy children in a polyamorous relationship? And I wanted to answer that, but like I said, I was trying to get off the live, so I said the next one we do is where I would answer that. So 2 things on the agenda today. Shout out to everybody that's in here. Please hit that thumbs up if you feel so called. If anything resonates that I talk about, feel free to subscribe even. You can hype this video in the comments. I believe you can. And yeah, so I'm gonna get right to it. We're gonna get into the subjects. We're gonna get into the subject of how to fight fair if you're in a relationship. It's gonna be five rules, 5 steps, 5 guidelines of how to fight fair if you're in a disagreement with your loved one. And again, I ripped these directly from Dr. Gloria Lee on Instagram. You can definitely check her out. I highly suggest that you do, because she has way more stuff that's good, just like this. All right, number 1. First rule in how to fight fair is no name calling or character attacks. That should seem obvious, right? But it's not. It's not. I've seen a lot of people who don't really get that or understand that. So instead of saying something like, "You're so selfish," which is a character attack, you'll say something like, I feel hurt when, and then you'll give the behavior feedback. All right, you got that? It's rule number one. It's gonna be super simple. I got you. Rule number two. Before I go on to rule number two, I also just wanted to say you attack the problem and not the person. That sums up rule number one perfectly. So rule number two is stay present. Don't bring up every past mistake. Focus on this issue that you're currently disagreeing, that brought up the disagreement, this moment. So that means you want to stay away from these words, this phrasing, as much as possible. You always or you never. Those are blaming phrases. We don't do those. So try to stay away from that. All right? Super simple so far, right? Those are the first two. Here's the third one. The third one is going to be take breaks when things are escalating. So if you feel like your heart rate is over 100 beats per minute, if it's going too fast, your blood is racing, you're physiologically flooded. So you can't think clearly. So instead of instead of continuing with the disagreement or the conversation, you would like ideally to pause and say something like, I need 20 minutes, I'll be back. And then you build the trust up by actually coming back. All right, that's rule number three. So far, we've got 3 rules down. No name calling, staying present, and taking breaks when things are escalating. The fourth rule, 4 to 5, is listen to understand, not to respond. I think this is a big one with a lot of people. A lot of people just listen to wait to get their edge in or their narrative in, and they don't actually listen to understand or listen to respond. So yeah, these are super easy, but it's hard. It's hard when you're in the moment. And that's why I feel like it's important. Like these are very basic, easy to implement, a little bit harder to remember and practice. All right, boom. So that's number 4. Oh, let me finish with number 4. Your partner needs to feel validated. When they feel heard and understood, they will calm down and a conversation will naturally de-escalate. So try something like, what I'm hearing is that you feel, address their emotion when name the situation that's currently happening instead of defending yourself. Acknowledge them instead of defending yourself or deflecting. All right, that's 4. Here's the 5th and final rule for how to fight fair. You always want to end in repair. If you don't fully resolve whatever caused the conflict, you want to reconnect before walking away and say something like, I love you even when we disagree. Or I'm committed to figuring this out with you. Or tell me what I can do right now that'll make you feel better. And that's it, really. These rules can change everything. They seem basic and simple and like duh and obvious, but if you have a disagreement or conflict with your loved one, try to actually do them. I dare you. Most couples have never learned how to argue constructively, and so they repeat toxic patterns for years. All right, if that's not for you, send this to one of your friends who you observe constantly arguing with their partner. All right, that's that. All right, boom. And this one is for Mrs. Colger. When she does catch up to this, she asked, how about raising happy, healthy children in a polyamorous relationship? So my notes that I wrote, because I wrote a bunch of stuff down. And I'm gonna try to make this simple. Wow, so this might be one of the shortest lives ever. Yeah, happy. If that, I mean, I always used to say that too. If I was in a relationship, I wouldn't want to go to bed angry or upset. That's something that I've heard a lot in my journey of life. And in most relationships that I've had, I want to say that I've done a pretty good job at that. Um, but when shit get thick, it be getting thick though. It be getting thick. Sometimes, like, the blood pressures rise and the tension be so tight that you don't even speak for the rest of the day. Or if you do, it's like begrudgingly, or you can tell there's still some tension there, or like, what is it? What's the word? You you don't really mean it, like you say something just out of like, um you have to, out of obligation. You have to say like good night or I love you, and like but you still be mad. So good luck with that, everybody. What up, Corrupt? I ain't gonna hold you, bro. It's gonna be a quick one. So, yeah, raising happy, healthy children in a polyamorous relationship. Here we go. The simple answer is this: polyamory doesn't confuse kids; it shows them abundance. They're growing up seeing honesty, care, and community as love in motion. A less poetic way of putting it is just raising happy, healthy kids in polyamorous relationship. It's not really complicated. It's about honesty, love, and community. Our children see that love can take many shapes, and they grow up surrounded by more people who care about them, not less. And that's why I wish she was here so she can have this conversation with me. But that's the gist of it. I always feel like I always feel like in children coming up in polyamorous relationships is there's not a lot of models for it, so there's not of like research or understanding within current society of how that works and how that looks. But I hope to be a trailblazer in that way. And to me, it's like everybody always says it takes a village to raise kids, and what better way to build a tightly knit village than a polyamorous relationship? And with that, I digress. Yeah, I hear that, happy. Oh, there she go. I was just talking about you, Mrs. Koger. I took some time and liberty to answer that question that we left unanswered, uh, and I was hoping that I would get you to join in so we can have the conversation about it. But remember, you asked me about what about raising happy, healthy children in a polyamorous relationship. I did some journaling about it after that, and I came on here today to kind of just put it out there because I definitely feel like it's an important question. But yeah, I gave some pretty short versions of it. I'll give you another short version of it just since you're here. Um, is how we always talk about it's it's better to raise children within a village, or it takes a village to raise children, in addition to just the nuclear family, the mom and dad. And I was like, what better way to build a village than to have polyamorous relationships? Keeping in mind that just because a relationship is polyamorous doesn't mean that you're sleeping with the person, so to speak, or like having coitus. Polyamorous relationships don't have to always encompass that, but it's really just a way of vetting the people that you love and letting them have an intimate access to your life. I think that can sum up polyamory better than just thinking about individuals sleeping around. You know, a lot of people think that's what it is. It's just like being a slut, but it ain't that. It ain't that. Thank you for that, Mrs. Koger. I do. I try to live. Not try. I do live in my truth. I always put my best foot forward and reevaluate my own narratives and ideologies. I feel like the way that I live is sacred, but it's not so dogmatic that I can't ever question the way that I live. So I thank you for posing that question so I could bring it out here into the public and we could talk about it. But yeah, those are my two things that I wanted to bring out here today. And I don't really have much else. I'm not going to hold y'all. Um, I don't know if there's anything else I want to talk about. What's up with y'all though? How's your day going, Mrs. Colger? What you up to today? Thank you, Happy. Yo, Vicky, your dad has 15. Shout out to him. That man was putting in that work. How's your relationship with your dad though? Y'all tight? Yeah, so Mrs. Colger, you probably had a better model of. I mean, it probably wasn't polyamory to your dad. Your dad was just being monogamous, one person at a time. Maybe, I don't know. But you've seen it. You've seen what it could be like. Imagine if he was honest with every. I can't even say that he was dishonest, so I don't know how to phrase that question. But imagine if he was polyamorous and was outspoken about being polyamorous and led with that into every relationship that he ever got into. I wonder how, if that would have reduced the number of children he had, or if it would have added to the number of children he had. But I definitely could. I feel strongly in saying that your dad is probably polyamorous, even though he never might have considered that. Oh, okay. Rising power to dad. Oh, you about to do an open house? That's what's up. Get that money, girl. Hope everything goes your way. I hope you have two or three buyers that walk in the door within the next hour. But you got the charcuterie board out. You got the house staged and all of that, or is it empty? What up, Sibs? Facts. Yeah. So all of that said, Mrs. Colgan, you would identify with having. I definitely would say it's an extended matriarchy because you have your biological mom and you have all these other moms from your dad's relationships. So I'm sure that hopefully that benefited you somewhat in your life where you had more people to talk to, more people who were reaching out to you, as far as women at least. Um, I know how that could easily add more drama because with any more individuals entering an intimate space in your life, there's definitely a possibility for drama. But it seems like it worked out well for you. Oh, you're getting paid to do the open house. That's what's up. Man, I wish my broker would have did that for me when I was a sales agent. Woo! I would have been good. I would have been eating. I thought about that so many times too. Like, why don't there should be like a base fee for a sales agent to do a showing? Like, I'm not doing these showings for you for free. You know what I mean? I never got paid from any of my clients until after they got into an apartment. You know how much work I did for free? And that's why I feel like being a real estate agent is kind of like slave labor. They need to reevaluate the laws on that. But yeah, I'm happy that you making something just for your time and energy. You deserve that. What up, cuz? You scrubbing the grout in the bathroom? Day two? Oh, cause y'all just moved into a spot, right? I hear you. That's not an easy job. It's not it's not a fun job either. Cause me, I don't play with that mold. Mold? Oh no, I gotta go. Are you using bleach? Because I recently heard that bleach it may like clean up the mold in a minute, but it actually feeds the mold in the long term. So just get a like mold killer or whatever. Like there's sprays that are just for mold. If that's what your grout is doing, maybe your grout is just dirty. So good luck with that. I'm here with you. I'm not gonna stay too long. I think I'm only be here for like another 10 minutes. I wanted to jump in real quick, get this out the way. I'm watching the stocks right now. I got a options contract for a company called TerraWolf, which is a Bitcoin mining company, and it's moving against me right now. But hopefully, it goes up every week. That's what I'm kind of counting on. So knock on my bony knees that it goes up. It's an app called Showami. Other agents pay you to fill in for them. Today I'm making $90. Oh, word? That's what's up. Okay. Even other agents from different brokers. What if they have? Well, I guess you can't do it if it's an exclusive listing. But that's what's up. I know you. If you did a showing, wow. I wonder how that works. Like if you do a showing and a client walks through and they show interest and they make an offer, who's getting the commission? I wonder. I'm sure they worked that out with you beforehand. The whole living room, kitchen, and dining room using peroxide soap and baking soda. It was black and it's supposed to, yo, facts. But when you say grout is usually in the bathroom, which I got tiles in the living room and the kitchen and the dining room. That's wild. But it is. You said it's Texas, right? So I'm Texas is hot as hell. That's why everything is probably tile. Hi, Miss Nettie. How you doing? Happy birthday! Big happy birthday! Ba. How many revolutions are you today, Miss Nettie? Everything is well with me. How is everything with you? Hey, SM. Is that SM Hosanna? Mediana. Um, Damn, all my French is leaving my mind right now. I cannot remember how to say hello in French whatsoever. All I remember, it's terrible. But yeah, what's up, Mariana? How you doing? I gotta upgrade my Portuguese for you too, so I know how to greet you in all of your polyglot languages. Yo. Oh, the initial agent gets the commission on that. Okay, well, it makes sense. If you get paid just to be there for the hour, they should at least cut you in on like a fraction of a percent of the commission. I feel like if the actual buyer comes through in that time that you're showing the house. Mariana, I'm mentally excited, physically not in pain, which is a good thing for me right now. And spiritually, meh, I'm alright. I'm alright. I, you know, you already know the circumstance. But we doing good, nonetheless. Bonjour. There we go. Salut. Thank you for that, Miss Nettie. SM. Oh, Sandra. Is that my cousin Sandra? That would kind of make sense. What up, cuz, if that is you? Oh, the big three. Oh, you made it. Congratulations. 30 claps for you, Nettie. It's a good year, man. It's a good year. I pray that everything that you've ever wanted comes to you abundantly within the next 5 years. Everything you've ever wanted. So by the time you're 35, you get to and just enjoy the fruits of your existence for the rest of the, let's just call it 200 years. Because me personally, I'm trying to be like 180. So I'm gonna give you 200. Salud. Do they pronounce a T in it? Salud? Oi. Oh, okay. I love Brazilian. Brazilian sounds similar to Japanese. Oh, okay. Sandra, what's up? I have a cousin named Sandra, and her last name Miles? I don't know. I think her last name might be Miles, so I thought that's why you might be my cousin. But that's what's up. Happy to have you. Welcome, and thank you for rocking with me for all these years. 30 is the best year ever, man. I will say my early 30s were the Jimmy Jam Jazzmatazz. I was doing really good, and my 30 to 35th year, I want to say, were really good years for me. So I'm sure they're going to be really good for you too, Nettie. Yeah, Nettie, how do you feel about turning 30? I remember I was like, oh, I'm an old head now. I'm 30. I can't claim the 20s no more. Oh, damn. I'm sorry to hear that, Sandra. Did um did they give you time? Did they give you a, what's it called? A package? A severance package? There we go. Haven't used that word in a minute. Did they give you a severance package? I hope they did. If you're looking for temporary stuff while you're in between gigs or careers, I highly recommend the Insta Work app. If you want, you can like DM me on Instagram or something like that, and I'll send you the link. And that way, after you work your first shift, you get an extra $50, and I'll get $50 too. So the app is called InstaWork, and yeah, just DM me so I can give you my referral code, and we can make that money together, girl. Somebody put me onto that app not too long ago. It took me like 2 or 3 weeks to get my first shift, but when I did, it was love. I got to work for Tesla. I was washing cars for like 6 or 7 hours, and they paid me like 150 for that, like for 7 hours, and I got an extra 50 just for completing the gig. And the person who referred me got $50, so it was pretty dope. So good luck to you though, who was that, Sandra? Yeah, it was Sandra. You got this, girl. Oh, don't be scared of turning 30, Mariana. That's part of life. You should be happy. I wish I could turn 30 again. The things I do. None of my body hurt. None of my body hurt when I turned 30. I remember that. Nothing was hurting. But when I turned 40, I went into 40 with a whole nerve injury in my leg. That's doing much better, by the way. It still gives me issues every now and then. Like if like right now how I'm sitting, I gotta keep my legs straight. I have all these exercises. I started physical therapy and all of that. So we on the upward spiral, baby. I got an Uncle Ronnie too. Shout out to you, Ella. What up, Ella? Miss your locks? Yeah, I don't. It's cool that you do. I don't. I'm just letting my hair grow out because I'm not feeling barbers right now. I'm boycotting barbershops. But yeah, I kind of like the curls. They they probably need some moisture, but I'm alright. I don't miss the locks whatsoever. Donnie, you look bald. How dare you? How dare you? Talk about projection. How you gonna be bald talking about have clown hair? The audacity. Um. Oh, the unemployment in France sounds good. And in America, we have that too, but you have to be working a job for like 8 months before you get unemployment insurance. And the last time I was on unemployment, it was like 2011, I want to say, and I was on that joint for like a year and a half. But every week you gotta like sign in and answer these annoying ass questions and prove that you're looking for work. But I remember I was rocking that joint for like a good year and a half. They wasn't paying me shit though, but it was still, it's easy to say to look at it like, yo, it's a free excuse me. It's easy to look at it like it's a free check or like you're abusing the system, but you're really not. Like you have no idea how much the government makes off of just you being alive that they don't offer you. Like every baby that's born, it's automatically like a couple $1 million probably that has the ability to be printed by the Fed off of the creation of the birth certificate, which is a negotiable instrument that is sold on the primary market. They create treasury bonds off of those birth certificates. So never feel like you're abusing the system if you're on unemployment because they owe you that. That's your money. In fact, every time you get paid, like let's say you work a job, right? Every time you get paid, that company is paying you with your money. I wish I could go into more detail, but I've read the case study behind that narrative, and it kind of makes sense. The reason if I remember correctly, the job application itself is a security instrument. Basically, anything you put your signature on is a security instrument, and these companies use those to get funds from the government um, that were generated off of your time and energy in spending in commerce for creating commerce. So maybe I'll talk about that in the next live. I'll just have to like gather up all the information that I have here and there, and we could talk about that kind of stuff more. Oh, you were a contract worker? Oh, all right. Well, that InstaWork app stuff is good. Um, whatever it is that you're qualified in, or whatever skill set you have, I hope it brings you something expeditiously. Oh, you got scoliosis. I've met someone with scoliosis before too. Is it painful though? I don't remember them being in pain, but I remember their posture was a little weird. Like they had one shoulder that went up higher than the other one. Do you take therapy at all for that, Mariana? Oh, word corrupt. You doing your own haircuts? I thought about doing that too, and I know I could because I do my own my own shave and face and stuff like that. So it can't be that hard. I've been thinking about it. I'm gonna give it some more thought because I got clippers. I might do it because these barbers is out of their, out of their minds. I'm trying to stop cursing, but they are definitely out of their minds if they think they're about to make $60, $70 off of a 20-minute haircut. It's wild, and the haircuts don't even be all that good. Yeah, yeah. I remember France. France had like a big uprising not too long ago. It probably was like in the last 10 years. I remember people was protesting heavy in France over something like that about how high the taxes are. Yeah, tax is crazy, man. To tax someone's existence, I don't know how any government gets away with that. Well, I do know how governments get away with it. It's just people are complacent and adverse to conflict. They should make it way easier. Like I think that is a responsibility of our generation is to simplify the removal of government. Like it should be very easy to do. Like we would do it, but we don't know how to. Nobody really knows how to fire every politician. I feel like if it was easy, government would work. If it was easy, government would work so much better because they know they're a couple of mistakes away from losing their job. There's too many career politicians. You have a blessed day too, Happy Feet. Be safe out there. Yeah, that's wild, Mariana. That's wild. Tax always pisses me off. That's why I claim exempt on all my jobs. Let the you know what I mean? Like I haven't filed taxes since like 2007. I probably just snitched on myself, so now they're gonna come knocking on my door. But I always say if I don't file and they don't come after me, like I'll deal with it when and if they ever do say something, and I'll be able to deal with them just using logic and reasoning. Hopefully they're responsive to that logic and reasoning. But my logic and reasoning is why would I pay somebody who could potentially make a mistake that'll cost me money to give the government money that they're not necessarily asking me for? Like I never get a letter saying, "Hey, you owe this much, so send us a check." It makes no sense to me. And it's funny because like they want us to go pay people to guess how much we owe them. Why, if they know how much we owe them, why don't they just tell us? Why is it like a thing that happens in retrospect? Like there's a magical number that you have to hit. And if you don't hit it, then they send you a letter saying that you owe. And I also feel like it's something called it's a legal term called tacit procuration, where it basically means if you file taxes, you're consenting to be taxed. So if you don't file tax, you don't consent to being taxed, and therefore they leave you alone. Which I feel like that's what's happening in my situation. The same way I don't vote. I'm not on a voter registration block anywhere. There's nowhere that says Matthew Hill is registered to vote in any state. So that is my proclamation, my exclamation to the state apparatus that I don't consent to any of that. And therefore they leave me alone. That's my narrative. That's the message that I tell myself in my head at least. Kahana was good. Oh, is it a full moon, Mrs. Clayton? I ain't even know. Oh, and what up to you too, Mrs. Clayton? I didn't even see that she was in here until just now. I hear you, cuz. I guess I really don't want to cut my hair. I'm just letting it do its thing right now. But if I ever feel called to, I might just do it myself. It can't be that hard. I cut my ex's hair. I gave her a buzz, and it came out pretty good too. It's 100% bullshit, Mariana. You said it. If you ask for your just due, like if you're in a bad spot and you need, like, we call it food stamps here in America, or EBT, they'll make you jump through so many hoops, and they'll obfuscate you at every turn. Yeah, I try my best not to need them for anything or ask them for anything. So they don't need or ask me for anything. I want us to have completely mutually exclusive relationships. Do you pay attention to Brazilian politics at all, Mariana, even though you're in France? Is the Harvest Moon the biggest and brightest of the year? Because I remember that Lionsgate, boy. That, if you shout out to my vlog that I just uploaded a few days ago, that vlog was shot during the Lionsgate moon, and that moon was beautiful, baby. It was one of the best moons ever. It's probably because I drove through the whole night just staring at it like, wow. And I got to see it right above, like, when the moon is right above the horizon, that's like when it's at its biggest. And I saw it just rise over all of these cornfields. It was great. But it's been raining here in Florida, so I hope we get to see it. Usually when the clouds is out, you don't really get to see it like that. But yeah, it's been nice chatting with you all. I don't want to hold nobody. I said that I was gonna get out of here like a half hour. Let me see if there's anything I missed. I don't think I missed nothing. But yeah. So what? If you're just like catching it, if you're just tapping into this live, the things that I wanted to talk about, I addressed in the very beginning of this video. The first one was five five rules, five simple, easy, almost freaking obvious rules, should be obvious rules, how to navigate disagreements or conflicts with your partner. So it's basically five rules how to fight fair. I stole them directly from a couples therapist on Instagram. Her name is Dr. Gloria Lee, Glorialee, Dr. Gloria Lee. I stole them directly from her because they're fantastic. So that'll be a reason for you to go replay this video if you want to know what those easy, obvious rules are that are harder to implement. And the second thing that I wanted to talk about, which I did, was an answer prompted by Mrs. Vicky Koger, who's always in here. She asked what I thought about or how to raise happy, healthy children in a polyamorous relationship. And when she asked that, I wanted to address it right then and there, but I had already been yapping for like an hour and a half. So I said the next live, which is this one, is the one that I would address it in. And so those are the two things that I addressed that are meaningful and you can take home with you in addition to all this other yap that I've been talking about. Oh yeah, France, yeah, the moon is already up. Yo, Mariana, do you think France is as romantic as people try to make it seem? Because I know people try to make New York City seem romantic, and it can be, but from the perspective of somebody who was born and raised there, I don't really feel like it's romantic that much. Can be. It definitely can be. But it's like you really got to experience it for the first time. It's one of those things where if you're like a virgin to it and seeing it for the first time, if taking in the atmosphere, it's definitely romantic. But being born and raised there is like you kind of, it jades you more than it romances you. I'll say that. But yeah, I always wondered that about Paris. I've actually read this book called Down and Out in Paris and London by I think it was George Orwell who wrote the book. Who's the other guy who Aldous Huxley? If it wasn't George Orwell, it was Aldous Huxley who wrote the. I'm pretty sure it's Orwell, but he wrote this book called Down and Out in Paris and London. One of the craziest books I ever read in my life. It made me thankful for everything that I've ever had. Mrs. Clayton says, today's venture is canna butter, tincture, and oil. It's hard doing all the things and trying to stay young and out late at concerts. Facts. Oh, so you went to Desmond's concert last night? That's what's up. Oh, you're such a good mom. I know that's right. You out there supporting your baby. Paris is gross. Yo, and that book in Down and Out in London and Paris, he definitely had some nasty things to say about Paris. I was like, damn, that's nothing like what I've heard, but that's why that book was important to me because it definitely broadened my perspectives on the world in general. They say mass immigration ruined Paris. Yeah, New York can be pretty, man. I wish I was there to take you around. I'll show you all the native spots, not just the touristy stuff. You got to know the native spots. That's when you really get to see. Like one of the illest things for me as a native New Yorker is to take somebody who hasn't seen the native things and take them to see it for the first time so I can live vicariously through them. And that's what makes me fall in love with it over and over again. It was kind of like that with my ex. But yeah, I think we covered everything. And we got 47, about to be 47 minutes and 47 seconds. So, uh, 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 to the one of us who is many, to the divine dichotomy that is the all, may you grant my friends peace, prosperity, progress, persuasion, pleasure, panacea, and the everlasting almighty moment that is the present moment, now and forever. Amen, aho, ashe. That's it, y'all. Thank y'all for joining me. Till next time. Oh, Shanika. Next time, love.